All right, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the show. I'd just like to announce that we are deeply honored that Steve would actually join us today.
Was at the Goodwill bins last week. I don't
So
get that opportunity very often.
yeah, but y'all got them, but just a good drive to get there, right?
Hour and a half. Yeah, Akron and Canton is the closest, I think.
Yeah, I thought about you yesterday. I was watching one of my car crash videos as I was after dinner, it showed because it tells you where it are, and it was in Ashtabula.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and you know you're saying it wrong now. You just like
Oh
to.
yeah, I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm like, I wonder if
Oh,
I'm
the
gonna see a
GPS does.
baby shit green Kia crash.
No, I'm a good driver.
Then and Huntsville shows up every now and then, there's somebody with cams in Ashtabula because that's not the first time I've seen that come up.
Hmm.
That's when a town like that comes up, you don't. That's not one you forget.
Yeah, it's not, unfortunately.
Mm.
And it's Ashtabula for those of you listening. When you drive through here, the GPS says it wrong. It's Ashtabulous.
So other than that, nothing exciting is going on here. I had fun shipping, so I was missing 4 items for Amazon sales yesterday, and I'm like, man, this sucks. And I'd put them off because I had 40, I don't know, 44, 46 to ship. And so I just skipped them. And so they were moving, they were at the top. So I had to do 5 or 6 at a time. And out of the corner of my eye, after 3 hours, I'm like, wait a minute, why did I put a tub down there? That one tub had all 4 items in it. I'm like, I knew they were together. I bought all that stuff at the same time.
Not how it works, though.
So I think I'm gonna have to actually have to sit down and start using the SKU to put a box number in it for sure.
Forgot to shut the door.
And I would hate for any of those cats to come terrorize you.
There's a hole in the other door. So the litter box is in the basement, and the basement's just off to the side over here. And my camera's flipped, so if I point that way, it's actually that way. But in the other, we have a cat door in the other door to this room so that they can go downstairs.
Hey, Brendan, thank you for the super chat.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
good morning.
First super chat of the year.
Happy January 4th. So I was thinking, I was running through my mind. I think I'm gonna start, doing something live in the evening time because if you think about this show and the time that it comes on, if you're on the East Coast, you're already at work or getting to work. If you're on the West Coast, you're still asleep. And for the most part, this show is, we're going to talk about
sleep. You're wasting half the freaking day.
We're gonna not everybody gets up at 4 o'clock like you
or my wife.
So I wanted to do something where it's just more question and answer because this time of year especially, there's so many new people coming in, and just reading groups and stuff, they don't have a clue. So I'm gonna start doing a night show that's basically just gonna be a lot of question and answer. Hopefully some education because it is amazing some of the questions. I think was it last week? I saw one of the groups. Somebody asked if you took the price tags off before you made the eBay pictures.
No, of course not.
Sometimes I don't, depending on what it is. Vintage item with a KB Toys price tag on it or something, I'll leave that. But generally, yes, you take the damn price tags off.
But 98% of the time, the only other one too. Like yesterday, I sent out a DVD set. I left the price tag on it because the DVD the price tag on it was $49 and they paid like $13.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
So
just to make it's a perception of value for the customer. They think they got a really good deal.
I think it was a manufacturer suggested retail price tag on it, so it wasn't anything. Or maybe it was a Best Buy. Best Buy has real interesting looking tags on their DVDs, really professional looking. it wasn't like I'd leave a thrift store, you know, one of them little gun tags on it. It was one of the Franklin. He is a mess this morning.
I gotta say, we have I don't know what kind of people we attract, but we have, and we've always had Bum Crack Picker in the chat, right? And now we got Fart Sack Jack. It's just the names that these people go by, and that's the type of people we attract. It's I love it.
Yeah, join us here at the Outcast Morning Show. I think, and another reason why I'll probably do it on Thursday nights, tomorrow night, and anybody's welcome to join on. I think we generally talk about concepts there because I heard somebody make a comment the other day. They were looking for a group to send to a new person. Who should a new person look to? And they're like, there's no way I told on the morning show because that's way over somebody's head right to begin with. Because with concepts and stuff that we talk about, I try to. No, but I don't think a lot of the stuff that we address or the details that we go to. I don't think other groups are there.
Oh, I just thought of something I'll tell you after the show, but you probably already figured it out.
So it's So Jack said he's been around a long time. He just changed it as a joke and it stuck. So now he's
keep it. Sure he will. All right.
Yeah, the little tornado, Brenda, for sure is never good. We had storms come through here last night. We were under a tornado watch for quite a while yesterday afternoon and evening. So I haven't seen the news this morning to see if there were any. It's one of those weird ones where all the activity on that one it went till like 5 o'clock, and then it took like a 6-hour break, and then it was all evening, all night, like from after midnight. Which those are the ones that are scary because most people are asleep. So, so how many of you guys have Yeah, Brenda, there is a set. We talked about it last week. There's a set in Walgreens.
See, I missed all the good stuff.
You can pull a coupon out of the Walgreens Act set, and it's $5, and it takes the $5 off. It doesn't work at Walmart. So if you find those at Walmart has interpreted those coupons to be not good for gift sets, only for individual items. So I got the bigger Walmart sets for $3 a quart. I think I picked up 4 of them. Which it doesn't matter. I got the coupon, so I'll just go back or I'll use it. They are manufacturer coupons, so I'll get 4 Axe products somewhere that'll easily make up the difference. So at least John is wearing pants today.
Maybe I missed all the bad stuff. If I missed that, I'm okay.
So John, do you regularly do the show Commando?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's there's some interesting stuff
from here up.
I picked up a dog bed for $2. There were quite a bit of things that were around, especially Walmart. Walmart had all their Homedics stuff 75% off. It still is if you can find it. Most of that stuff is gone here now. The feet bath. I picked up that stuff. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna run it to the auction, see what happens. At $5, I need $8 to get out of it. It's brand new. Retails for $20. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see what happens. There were quite a few other things like that I picked up. All right, so at CVS, the Nivea and the Old Spice. But not everything is great. I went looking for Sony headphones last night at CVS. They're marked down to $6. I scanned them. Not only can I not sell them, but there are third-party sellers selling the $25 headsets for $12. So there goes that's your retail arbitrage story for the week. I was going to videotape it and go buy because there's like 20 of them around town and go buy them all. And yeah, that was a fail. Maybe I'll go back today and record a fail video. A lot of people need to see it's not just them. So how many people have made resolutions and goals? We are in the first week of 2023, which is, it's just difficult to believe and say that it is 2023.
I do that every. I shake my head every year when, it, but yeah, it's 2023.
I have a 50-page document.
Okay, so which is better? I think I've got it on a thumbnail. Which is better? Should you be setting resolutions or should you be setting goals? You know, which they're completely different things. And if you what you know, and for me, I have both. So, has anybody ever thought about it?
Yeah, I thought about it because I saw your topic last night, so I thought about it a little bit.
You know, you think about a resolution, it tends to be more personal. Think about what it's
we only tend to make resolutions, quote unquote, once a year, and that's at this time of year.
They're generally personal lifestyle changes. You know, maybe quit smoking. You know, maybe quit drinking. You know, lose weight. You know, do a diet plan. Do these things. You know, resolutions. The one thing I would tell you is, in order for a resolution to be successful, it needs to be a habit. And most of your studies, your habits. So John's been how long have you been on the diet now, John?
I started on October 1st or thereabouts.
So you're way past what most people say 21 days. Now it's just second nature now. You don't think much about it. You just eat according to plan, correct?
Yeah, I'm actually leaving it.
But you're going to take the concepts and make it your own, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, their food's a little expensive. Johnny did that and sort of bland and
tastes like freaking cardboard.
Yeah. It's quite a bit of it. I actually sold back on eBay because you'd have to buy certain sets of it and she didn't like it.
I'm down 46 pounds, 8 inches off my waist.
Yeah, I saw pictures of Lori. I'm like, who the hell is that?
And she's lost a lot of weight.
You posted something, what, New Year's pictures or holiday pictures? I'm like, holy crap. I mean, because I just saw Lori in October, and it's a good change. So resolutions really tend to be personal. They the key to a resolution, you know, there's self-improvement. Most of the time you don't make steps to do, you know, a goal you're going to, in order to meet a goal and to use goals, you need to put steps in place in order to, you know, I need to do this, this, and this in order to reach this. You know, a resolution tends to be, so I don't have any New Year's resolutions because I went keto on the 2nd, so I wouldn't break my New Year's resolution since it technically didn't start on New Year's Day. So, you know, one of the big resolutions for me is to get on keto and stay on keto. And so that started, but you know, you don't need any, you know, I don't need any detailed plan about how to reach this resolution. And it tends to be more vague, and a goal tends to have more of a definable, it should have a measurable outcome. You know, I want to increase sales by 15% in the first quarter. You're going to have to have steps into that to see, you know, how you're going to get there. Whereas, you know, I want to stay on keto the first quarter. Okay. Other than, you know, it's habit changing, you know, buy different things at the grocery store. You don't need any, and it's a mindset, but you don't need any steps to get you there. So OnlyFans, isn't that a hooker site for the most part?
You know, we tend to make these plans, call them what you want. Some, you know, a lot of people use the words interchangeably, whatever you want to do. There's two big things. One is a mindset. And one is, instead of measuring your failures, measure your successes. You have to make adjustment based on the information you have at hand. Let's go back just 5 years in time. Nobody was right in what they were going to be doing 3 years later. Not one person hit it right. Nobody said we're going to be in a pandemic. Nobody. So we all had to change everything that we had planned to do in 2020 from January 1st based on a pandemic.
I watched an interesting video, and it really speaks to the difference between goals and resolutions. The guy was saying setting goals is terrible and on and on. He said, because if you don't reach it, you think of yourself as a failure. And I'm like,
Is kind of true.
It works. If you're truly setting goals and making steps to get there and evaluating, it's a process to get to a certain outcome. I want to be up 15% in the first quarter. In March, you start looking at what has worked so far. What is pushing you towards that goal. You reevaluate the goal. You set a different goal for the second quarter, and you change steps, or you double down on the ones that were really good. It's a goal is something. And then if you reach the goal, man, congratulations, you've done awesome. That's not the end of the day. Did you set the goal too low? What did you do? Maybe you need a stretch goal to go with. A lot of people talk about a stretch goal where, I'd like to be here. It'd be incredible if I got there. So maybe you underestimated your outstanding ability.
I think a lot of people set their goals way too high, and that's where he's talking about the failure. You feel like a failure if you don't get close to it or reach it.
Instead of calling it a goal, why not call it a target? Something you're aiming for.
Right. Change the terminology.
And during the course of time, make adjustments in your target so that you're always, if I want to go to California, first thing I'm going to do is head west. As I get closer, I'm going to adjust my path to be where I want to be. Targets are further out, and goals are further out, where resolutions, and I agree with you, Scott. I think it's a much more personal thing. A resolution is more about, we want to change something. We want to change a habit for a long period of time. I want to change my eating habit. That's a resolution.
See that. And the other thing too is goals tend to be, if you use goals and really help you to see where you're going and a vision for yourself of where you're going, and you're reevaluating as you go through your steps. You have some measurability, but a resolution. If this weekend, if I decide to get off the keto train pretty quick, that resolution is not going to last. We talk about people breaking resolutions. And so that's why they don't tell you to make business resolutions. You need smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound goals in your business and to affect lasting change. A resolution, has a temporary feeling.
And part of it is society. Society has said if you make a New Year's resolution to be on a diet, and you eat a donut Friday morning, you 100% failed. Where a goal says, okay, you stumbled, pick yourself up and have a salad for lunch. Get back on what you're aiming for. Where a resolution, as soon as you break one of the rules you set in that resolution, you fail. So with a goal, it's much easier to achieve success.
Right, because goals are all about there's a built-in thought process of evaluating where you are and continuing to improve. It's goals tend to be a process, and I think that's the difference. Whereas a resolution tends to be, you're working on something personal. Does it truly in the long run matter if I fall off keto again? Will it happen? Probably. But it's much more detrimental if you're basing your business on resolutions. And I decide, and you see it so much. Oh my God, I've had 3 returns this week. What the hell? you know, maybe this is not for me. I need to move. I'm getting, how many people do you see in the comments? I could make a video about returns, and there will be 3 or 4 people that will make comments about this happened to me on eBay, and eBay always sides with and that's why I quit. The temporariness of a resolution is the reason why it's not as effective whenever you're trying to move in a business, because business has ups and downs, changes. Where personally, if keto for a resolution is much more personal, is much more in my control. But a lot of things where you're setting goals, you're reacting to environments, you're reacting to things that happen, and you need to continue to move forward. Philip, that's a 100% true statement. He says, I wouldn't be here where I am today if I didn't have a ton of failure. And I tell people that a lot. As you're starting out in this business, the best way to learn is you got to have some failures. You don't need catastrophic failures. You don't need to risk everything on. You're not going to put everything on black and hope for the best.
Oops.
Maybe I shipped something wrong. Maybe I lose a few dollars. Maybe I've got a lady who sent in. I got a return last night. It's for a pitcher that goes on a Ninja blender, and she said, "Oh, maybe it's not it's the wrong one. It's not the right size." And I'm sitting here thinking, I've got the blender base right here. I know it's the right one, but maybe she ordered the wrong one. There's something. I'm not going to. It's going to come back, and I'm going to relist it. It's not going to be where it's not the end of the world that a $60 blender cup is coming back.
That came back yesterday. Works perfectly fine. No issues. What am I going to do? Relist it. That's all I can do.
Baseball
Go ahead.
That's the plan I'm on, baseball. You said something about perfect. I had to stop and open the mic up. I'm making my wife's coffee. I've never failed at anything.
Ever. Me either.
So I will also evaluate. I'll look at the listing and make sure that I've got the model number, everything correct. Maybe in the details I have it linked somewhere wrong. I will figure out that to make sure that blender cup that came back is not my fault. That maybe somewhere in that listing I might have the wrong model number listed. So it's a 600 series Ninja blender. So I don't think I have it wrong, but you got to evaluate why to come back.
Instead of first jumping to the conclusion that the buyer is wrong, you got to check it out on your end first.
Yeah, like that VCR, I've had those through the years come back.
My guess on this one is that they had family over for Christmas. They wanted to watch a video from back at the time, and they sent it back because it works perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But guess what? It doesn't matter. It's just going to get relisted. I'll use the same listing, just relist it. It's not a big deal.
A lot of times they get broken in shipping. They're older machines, and all the rattling around. Not that you don't pack them great. I do the same thing.
But the last one that came back had this stuck in it. So he got a disc stuck in it and couldn't figure how to get it out. Well, that was an easy solution, but it is what it is, and you can't.
Yeah, it's like 4 screws. You lift the top off, you take the disc out, and then put the machine. Yeah, that's pretty easy.
But people aren't, a lot of people aren't even on that mindset where they can do that. And is it his fault? Yeah. Did the VCR work when I got it back, or the DVD player? Yeah. So I'll either relist it or donate it to Goodwill, one or the other. It don't matter.
Brendan's got a great point. No such thing as failure unless you give up. Quitting is failure. And just look at the history of people who've been very successful. And you like to memorialize the people, especially people that you look up to as, never fail and never do anything wrong. But if you look at it through, love him or hate him, President Trump is a great example. How many business failures has he had as he continues to build and learn from things from the past? It's, he's an easy example to show because everybody wants to talk about all the bankruptcies and the issues. but you continue. You don't get to the wins if you don't learn about the losses, and don't learn. So Amy is going boating.
I think the biggest issue is if something's not working, try something else. Right now for us, we're trying all sorts of different things just to one of them things is going to stick. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid of failure, because like what's his name, Joseph or somebody up in the chat, Philip or something, I don't know.
Philip
said if you don't fail, you don't succeed. I mean,
correct.
That's true.
I 100% believe that. So some of the strengths of goals, it's very easy to share accountability for goals, because it's more than a one-step thing. I need to do this, this, and this. It's not resolutions are too, but resolutions, people are, there's not a lot of help when I say I'm gonna stay on keto. I either am or I ain't. But if I'm trying to build something and I have a plan to get there, you can involve team members. It's much more where you can lay out, and there's parts of the plan. The steps are easier. I'm not necessarily easier, but they are much more defined so that it's easier to get help. Jet skis.
And as your company grows, it gets harder to, your plans have to be more of a target than a goal. You need your team to aim to achieve something, but you have to leave room for failures, stumblings, personalities. There's a million things. I have a 50-page plan because January 1st I retired. Everybody's wagering that I won't make it. You guys don't understand my mindset. You really don't. I am so close to be fully done with the business.
I hope so, John, for your sake. I really do.
Something I've been working on for a lot of years, and I have made a lot of mistakes, and I have failed a lot of times. This has been going on since I'm 56. So I started when I was 50. I wanted to be retired by the time I was 50 was my goal.
Oh, shit, I better get on the ball then.
It's taken a lot of work and a lot of adjustments to the plans, and you have to be willing to adjust your plan based on the information you have at hand on any given day. Happy New Year's postcards.
Yeah, that's Mark. Good morning, Mark.
I know he's a regular. I know all he does is postcards.
Mostly, there's some toys too.
So, what are some of the? We talk about the differences. So why should you do goals? What are some of the positive effects? The first thing that comes to mind for me is increased motivation. You have it focuses you. You have a focus on what you're doing and a purpose for doing it, and the motivation. If you're lacking motivation, the one thing I'll tell you is try setting some goals. Try laying yourself out. I don't necessarily know that making it down to a schedule, but some time bound, realistic. Can I reach? There's nothing. That sense of accomplishment that you get from a median goal, even if you don't meet your goal, there can be a lot of positivity in it, because you can see the steps that you're taking are getting you closer and closer towards the goal. Even if you don't meet it, and you got to understand and allow the process to work. You can't be that quitter. You can't let it. You've got to let the process play out, because truly effective goal and planning is the evaluation process. What went wrong? What went right? What do I need to change? Was the goal too high? Goal too low? Did I miss a step? That's an easy one. There could be something in your thought process that once you've not met a goal, it's easy to look back and go, maybe I should have done this. Let's do this now to see if that corrects the course. Harlan said he's going to retire before he turns 52. Good luck with that.
Better shot than I do.
Well, he is 52.
Listen, you know, when I entered basic training, one of the things we did was an M16. You were trained on your rifle. It's kind of like a goal, because the first time you fired it, if you were lucky, you got somewhere near the target, or you hit the guy's target next to you, or whatever it was. You had to adjust that goal. You had to adjust that rifle until it was sighted in for you. You can't take somebody else's goal and make it your own. You have to sight in your goal for you. You have to make the adjustments that you need to do what you want to do. You know, everybody thinks I'm crazy to be retired. You're not going to make it. You're not going to do it. I got 2 busy weeks. I'm going to 2 shows next week in Vegas. And I got a dinner meeting. And after that dinner meeting, I'm probably not going to be involved in the company very much this year. It's the final process of turning everything over. It's not easy, but I've had to adjust them all along the way. And that's something you have to remember, is that you have to adjust your goals to what's going on in your life at that time. It's a mindset. It really is. Everything comes down to a mindset.
See, so if you put this towards reselling, the one thing I would tell you is using goal setting and evaluating and following through with the processes to reach a goal. It makes you a much better decision maker. It really improves. You know, people ask a lot all the time, how did you know to buy that? Because I had bought enough wrong things that in my mind, I know that I have a set of rules that very few items I'm going to go below 50%, 50% return. And, you know, you get very quick evaluating these things. And so I am a much better decision making for following my own rules and for failing. I have done enough of the, well, maybe I'm gonna take a chance on this one and screw that up to realize, you know, that rule is there for a reason. As you do things, it makes you a better decision. And also, not only are you a better decision maker, I can promise you this: if you set goals and have got realistic goals, there are going to be problems that come up. You know, you're going to have a wrong step. You're going to have it could be the other ones. You're going to have the right step, but you underestimated it. And so, which is a good problem to have. And so your ability to solve problems will be greatly enhanced because as you are seeing things clearly to where you want to go and you have a distinct where you want to go, you know, you will develop a laser focus of it takes, man, this is not working. You'll see, you know, it won't wait till the evaluation process because you will start noticing, you know, trends much easier and will be able to solve problems. So there are quite a few benefits to use goals in your business for sure.
Brenda asked a good question, and not so much because it's about retirement, but because of the way she asked it. I'm mostly retired, still doing the buying. My sons have taken over. I'm teaching them how I buy. But how do you teach product picking when I see it and know that it is the one product I need to buy? Here's the thing. It all comes down to one thing. You can't take somebody from a business world and put them into this environment and expect them to take over. There is a matter of experience that every person needs, and it's through experience and you mentoring them boys that you will be able to step further and further away as time goes on. Can you step away tomorrow? No. If something happens to you that you're unable to mentor them longer, They're going to have to stumble their way through, but you have given them the basics to accomplish it. That's where I'm at. I'm going to have to mentor the guy taking over the company probably for 2 years. But each day it's going to be less and less that I have to do.
Yeah, that's the one thing too, Brenda, is how do you, when you see it, you know it. There's a reason why when you see it, you know it, is because you've made some mistakes. And you can probably tell me every single one of them, but there's so many successes that you've built up what you know and what you understand. And so it's almost like you need to be a helicopter mom. You need to allow them to that's part of really a lot of what coaching is. You need to allow them to make decisions, maybe help them not make a mistake if you see one, maybe, really ask a lot of open-ended questions. If you see something and they don't, ask them why. Why did you not pick that? And help, so you can help the way if you ask them why and make them explain why they did or didn't do something, so you can understand and help point them in the direction that you feel they need to go to see things that benefit your business like you do. That's some of the stuff that a part of the coaching and teaching, that because it's hard not to go, I'm the first one to tell you, oh crap, I'll just do it myself. I can't tell you in how many restaurants when things are going bad, and instead of allowing someone to fix it, I was that problem solver. I would step in too fast.
Even on a smaller level, when my son has his own eBay, and I find myself micromanaging his eBay because it's easier instead of answering his questions sometimes. And that's not a good teacher or leader.
But the other
you got to
thing
let
is,
them make the mistakes.
the other thing is you have to let them fall. You have to let them make mistakes. You have to let them scrape their knees. You have to let them get a black eye, because if you don't, they're not learning anything except for to depend on you more. Now, you're not going to let them jump in front of a moving train if you see that kind of mistake or something they're planning to do going to mess up that bad. But you do have to let them stumble, because if you don't, they'll never learn.
Yeah, so Mark is saying he's got when he sold an item open box, and the guy said returned it because it's used. Well, that happens quite a bit. I had a DVD player or Blu-ray player, I'm sorry, and the person sent me a message saying, "Hey, this thing's got scratches on it. It's used." And I said, I responded back, I'm sorry it doesn't meet your expectations, but if you kindly read the listing and look at the invoice that I put in there,
Did you use the word kindly?
It was clearly listed as used with normal scratches from normal use from a couple of years. It was clearly, I told you exactly what it was. You didn't read it. I said that in a nice way. It's an Amazon
Did you
customer.
really use the word kindly?
No.
That's the word all the scammers use. That's what I was asking. Don't use that word. Just a word of it. I've had that happen before. I make it very clear in the listing if it's used or not, and even open box, a lot of time I'll list as used like new, but used because it just makes more sense on eBay.
Okay,
Amazon,
so on Amazon,
it's going to be a grade or two down.
So on Amazon, if I sell anything like new, that's from the point that you can put a description on it. I never sell an item that is like new or lower without telling you why it's like new. So I sold this one. I picked this up. I picked this up at an estate sale last Saturday. Brand new in the box. This never been out. This thing it's sold like new because of that right there. See the tear in the box? The box is not perfect because there's a tear in the box. I put in there in the listing the ice cream maker is never been out of the box. The box has a tear in the top. It's been repaired with a piece of tape. The new ones were selling for $70. I listed this one for $60. It sold it in 4 hours. So it's going out today. But that is a perfect example. I wouldn't just list it like new and let them guess. What do they mean is like new? I'm going to tell them the box has some damage.
I have a similar item on Amazon right now, a Cocomotion, actually. And it's brand new in the box, but the box looks like hell. Not like hell, but kind of like that. And so I have to sell it like new. I won't sell that as new.
Brenda, watch a movie called Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor. It's right up the lane of what you're talking about right there with the letting them fall. Brewster's Millions, if you remember, Richard Pryor had to spend $1 million or $10 million or something. And he got so tired of spending money that when he finally got the inheritance, he was a much better person with it.
Yeah, so Mark, the one thing I'll tell you is your returns are probably going to work. They like to tell you they don't work because they want free returns back. So if there's on Amazon, even though you could have something that says free return, if they select if they select change mine or several other categories, Amazon hits them, reduces the amount of the refund and charges them for the shipping back. So you have to be careful. Just test everything coming. That's why I have all the returns come back here, because I want them in my hands to see, with craziness. And a lot of Amazon customers, they tell a little white lie in order to get a free return versus, the truth of, it didn't work for me because all I did was look at the picture and I didn't read a listing to understand that, an Amazon seller has gone to the point of putting 5 bullet points there and made a description, and you can go down and look at the answers and all the pictures. That's too complicated for most folks.
Well, and then you got eBay, which when you're searching on a mobile device, you have to hit a button that says see full description, so
Correct.
They're just looking at pictures, so the description doesn't mean as much.
I had 18 returns yesterday. Somebody's talking about returns. I had 18 returns.
But out of how many?
I have no idea.
Yeah, a lot.
I have no idea. I did like 30,000 units in December or something.
The thing about returns on Amazon is I haven't found that they're much higher than eBay ever.
So what do you do?
Get them for sure.
Hazmat item on Amazon, but they won't let you ship it UPS. For any hazmat item, are you talking about sending it into Amazon? Are you talking about you're sending it to the FBA or you're sending it to a customer? If it's a customer, that's an easy one. I just use Pirate Ship and then copy paste the tracking number back in, and then ship it UPS.
And your little diamond thing, you got to put that on there.
I was going to say, make sure you're following the rules and putting the diamond sticker. I had it yesterday. I sold 2 cans of some kind of polish spray, and the same person bought both of them. It was $107 for those 2 cans, and so, but it allowed UPS, FBM, yeah, just Pirate Ship's the easiest way, but it allowed. But there's sometimes you'll find that using Amazon, they allow people to put the craziest. Okay, so one of the problems with Amazon that they need to fix is when they put an address in there, they don't standardize it. And so, you'll come up and go, wait a minute, my only option is UPS. Why am I not sending this, first class? And you'll look at the address and it'll say Swede, STE. Something will be off about the address, the way the Postal Service wants it. So the Postal Service is kicking the address because it's not formatted correctly. And so I use Pirate Ship for those as well, because Amazon needs to fix that, where they, if the address won't come up it's an easy check. But
yeah, that's what I was talking about, Brennan. 30K is a crazy number to give them. I mean, I don't know what you're dealing, but did you start the company with 30K? Give them 5K and tell them to prove that they can do it.
It's weird when you have two of the same mice on the table. Now, how are they both working the same computer? Never mind. So I was using the MacBook for a while, and I plugged it into this one because this computer started up again, and both mice are plugged in. Hey, that's an easy way to do it.
I'm going to probably get rid of my MacBook.
So the thing I will tell you right now is a lot of
donating it, John. I can give you my address, but go ahead.
People right now are probably experiencing a higher amount of returns than what they're used to, and this is a time you see a lot of people complaining about returns, and you know they've already spent the money from December and November even, because these platforms are allowing 90-day return up to January 30th, and they don't understand that you truly, until you clear the return period, that is not the profit that has not matured yet, for lack of a better way to describe it. And so now we're in January. You've sold way more items. You're still running the same percentage of returns. You've just sold a lot more product. And so it looks and feels like, oh my God, I'm getting kills of returns. When in fact, you're just, because now your sales are going back to normal, and it's harder for most newer people to see, wait a minute, these returns are from last month. These returns are from the last 30 days. They're not what I'm selling right now. And so it's a mindset. I've told people over and over, my Amazon FBA returns, when they show up at the house, I look at them and go, well, I'll be damned, because I have Outlook send it to or Gmail send it to it's got a rule. It skips the inbox, marks it as red, and puts it in the return file. I don't ever look at them.
Hey, Yellow Brick Road. I don't know if you've seen my Facebook, but Lori hit a royal last night for $1,000.
So it's this is a fun time. They don't call it Return Your Way for nothing. It's just you got to get through it. It's simple as evaluate the stuff when it comes back. The platforms allow you that, if it's not your fault, to keep up. And I think I had this argument with Dave. Dave had an item he sold for $300. I think he paid $60 for it. It's an item that's discontinued, and the problem is you can't find refills for it. And so once it runs out, people have two options. They can't get parts for it, so they buy yours and send you back the broken one, which is what happened.
Yep.
Or they return them when they quickly realize, all I can use it is a few times. This is an item that would have been $60 that I just paid $300 for, and I get like 6 uses out of it. And so it's coming back. And I told him, I'm like, listen, I told him right up front, you can keep half, show that they returned a used item, take the pictures, take your $150, and you're still in the profit, move on. He has been fighting for the last 6 weeks for the 300.
You guys are nuts.
It's just the time, the energy, the effort. Okay, so it's not what you thought it was going to be. You still made money. You're done with the problem. Move on. The platform then backs your side because you've proven that they returned a used item and they're not the same item. So both eBay and Amazon both go, you're covered. Take the 50%, move on.
eBay is even easier. You just write what was wrong about it, and if you have free returns, you're covered. I don't use it. I'm not giving people 50% back all the time. That's not how that works. But if they return an item and say they forget to put the cord in, I'll look up the cost of the cord, and they don't get that money back. That kind of thing. Or if they busted it, then I'll give them half or whatever.
And then Amazon allows 20% without providing a picture or anything. You can hold 20% for whatever. So as long as materially different, as long as it is slightly different, which not new.
Now, I'd say I've never lost an Amazon or an eBay one. I've never tried it on Amazon, but eBay, I have never had a question. Now, the buyers will sometimes get angry, but the eBay deals with them after that point, so I don't care.
So fishing picking, I've had a lot of those. I've had quite a few of them didn't receive, and it was
Really?
not UPS. It was all USPS. It was UPS. I did very well through
Flippin' Ain't Easy says that I'm wrong and that eBay doesn't require free returns to use the 50%. I may be. I just know that's how it was when it first came out.
That's correct. It was that way when it first came out, but they've altered that since then.
Then
because I've made the same mistake and then had to go look it up and went, well, I'll be damned.
How many people
you have to be top rated? He says.
Yeah, that's it. You have to be top rated. That's correct.
Well, who was it? Lag said, oh, well, never mind. Look at the source. Lag said, then they give you negative feedback. If you worry about your feedback, you're in the wrong business. You cannot make 100% of the people happy 100% of the time. It just doesn't happen.
eBay will remove the feedback anyway if you have free returns.
There's a link in the chat, other John, if you want to come join us. I don't worry about top rate. I think I am top rated on eBay, but I think it was at top rated plus, which you have to have 1 day handling and all that craziness. I don't want 1 day handling.
I don't do all that.
If you want to buy my stuff, you follow my terms.
Yeah, I have 2 day handling
on eBay. I have 2 days on every platform, pretty much.
Because like yesterday, I needed it in order to find. So I found those as I was walking out the door. So one of them I had mistakenly printed the shipping label for and paid for shipping because it's an item I'd sold over and over. It was in one of the videos. It was the little guy, one of the World Nintendo, where Mario has the big hair, or whatever his name is. I showed it in the Walmart videos. I had found 2 more of those. Sold them both. They were like $4.99. I got like $18 for them when I was running through. There's Mark. Hey, howdy, Mark.
Mark. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
$1,900 postcard. Don't you feel like you ripped somebody off $1,900 for a piece of paper?
Well, I only paid 28 cents for it.
Yeah.
So no, there was a good return on investment.
Yeah, if you'd only paid 10 cents, then that'd have been a ripoff. But since you paid 28, that's good.
So I did a video on it. We took a trip out to Brimfield, Massachusetts, all the way from Chicago to that big flea market.
Okay, so they called that a flea market. Let's say what it is. You went to an antique show.
I went to a town antique show.
I've been to it 3 times. I know exactly. It's Brimfield is. It's not a flea market. They call it a flea market, but it's way more antiques. It is not like there was not one Chinese seller there.
No, there wasn't.
You're not going to get old tools. You're going to find it's better than antique dealers because you're going to get deals on stuff. But it's flea market does it in service for the stuff. This just whatever word I'm trying to come up with.
I ended up buying about 10 to 12,000 postcards while I was on that trip. We went to a restaurant where we stayed in town. It was a fancy railroad restaurant. We were talking to a waitress, and I let her know what I did. And she goes, well, I got some postcards. I said, well, we're staying right across the bridge. We'll just walk over. She brought them over the next day, and there was an album. I looked through the album. I didn't see this card right away. They're kind of, sometimes you can miss them. And I said, you know what? I'll give you $60 for the album.
So you ripped off a waitress now is what you're telling me.
I did send her some money. She's got some more postcards, old Irish ones. So, but I didn't see it until I got home, and there was 2 of them in there, and that one was one of the holy grails of Santa Claus in an Uncle Sam suit, hold to the light, where you hold the light through it. Yeah. And
even I know that would be worth some money, and I'm not a postcard guy.
I thought it was maybe 4 to 5, but then some of my friends and stuff, we looked at it, and the highest one on WorthPoint was like 18. So I went 19 best offer, sold in 2 days. So
no, Brenda, I didn't have pewter horses, so that must have been somebody else.
I sold, if you guys remember, I jumped on here one time and did the auctions you guys used to run at night. And they went nuts on a Pokemon card in a YouTube auction.
Yeah.
And we still, to this day, we still do not know what they seen in the book that they drove it to the prices that they did.
Yeah, that lot went over 800.
Yeah. That was the highest card I've ever sold. I don't think I'll ever find another one.
because most of your stuff is what, $5-6.
Average sale price right now is about $5. I
How
got.
many, but how many do you sell a day, Mark?
It depends, 14 to 20, 30. It depends. The boats, those naval ships, people like today, some guy just bought 4 of the ships for $5 a piece. I got 39,000 listings up, but I have a quantity because I got multiples of cards of over 100,000. But it's only a 2% sell-through rate.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah, you
So it's
can't
more
list
of a
100
quantity.
postcards and hope to make a lot of money on them. You're not gonna.
Yeah, it's a
I
numbers game.
have 150, I think, or 200 postcards listed,
Mhm.
and they'll sell, but they don't sell very fast, and they're not.
Mm-mm.
You have to have a lot, like
So
39,000.
that's one of the big shames that I talk about with Dusty. Dusty had figured out the postcards. He went the opposite way of you, where he was a little more expensive.
Mhm.
You know, he was 18 to 20, 25, but he had so freaking many. He was listing 300 a day, and he built it up to 1,000. So he was selling. I mean, he was very comfortable with what he was doing then, and it's a shame that he had finally worked a system that really worked.
Yeah, it's a grind, and you got to do it every day. And organization, and when you get 1,000 postcards, if you don't mark them or know how to find them, there's certain ways to do it. You're looking through 1,000 every time you sell one. That gets old. They all look the same. But that's a different niche than hard goods. And I get a lot of people come in and say, I'm not selling postcards. There's no money. Yeah, don't do postcards. It sucks. It's horrible. Don't do it.
Well,
I'll take all the ones you find. Thanks.
Yeah.
you used to do ties. You used to do men's ties was a big thing, but then they became a real crafty item, and the prices went through the roof on them. You used to do a men's tie. You buy them for $1 and sell them for. You started every one of them. When I started an auction at $9.99. Some of them went up to $100 on the auction. But then if they didn't sell, I had eBay automatically relist them for $9.99, and I got a lot of offers and just same thing, small sell-through rate. You had to have. My eBay right now has $42,786,430.45 in inventory. I carry a quantity of 1,267,862 items. I have 130 listings.
Yeah.
I have very
it's impressive.
I have very big quantity. Now, understand, I've been on eBay long enough that I don't have any quantity limits. I can raise my inventory to 100 million.
Yeah, I can too.
And they won't say anything. So I have stuff that other people can't get because eBay doesn't offer it anymore. I'm grandfathered in. But if you find the right products and you focus in a very small niche like Mark does, you can make quite a bit of money. The dude's retired. He makes, what do you do? Probably $200 a day in sales. 70,000 a year, 75,000 a year in sales.
No,
not that much.
No, with the toys, yeah. But so my goal, I just did a video. It's coming out Saturday on my goals for 2023. I retired 4 years ago. I have other income. I don't need to do this. It's a hobby, and it makes retirement fun because you got extra money to do things like go on a trip. And so we worked. My wife just retired too. But my goal for 2023, and some people balk at this, but I'm closing down my Etsy store, Hip, Whatnot, toy store. I will be 100% eBay postcards. And
so you're not going to do postcards even on Whatnot?
I'm not doing Whatnot. The money kind of fell out of that, and I don't want to be tied to a schedule.
Right.
And I like it. I'll probably keep it because I got rid of a lot of older cards. My oldest card now in my box one is February 2019. Before that, I had years before that. I got rid of those, bulked them up and lotted them up on Whatnot, and they've been there forever. But my goal,
you're enjoying it.
Yeah. So my goal is, since my wife and I want to do a little bit more things, over the last 2 years, the economy and everything showed me, hitting bottom with sales and people not buying as much and stuff like that. What number is easy to hit? And that's $70 a day. That's 14 cards at $5. That makes me $25,500 a year gross. at a 40% profit, because I will reinvest, I will not show 60, 70% profit. It'll give me about $800 to $1,000 in my pocket a month, which is about $12,000 a year to do whatever the heck I want. Buy more postcards, travel, buy a horse, pony. So that's my goal for there. That's my bottom number. I don't say I'm going to hit $80,000, because then I got to climb the hill. So I'm saying, okay, if everything goes fine and the economy doesn't get better, I can do what my goal is, and all my expenses are built there. But my situation is a lot different than a lot of other people.
So Ron, I understand that you went to Texas A&M, and that really challenges you to Mark's YouTube channel is SM Postcards, just like the name.
It's really hard to figure out.
I love messing with Ron. That's so much fun.
By the way, people, I changed the name of my my YouTube channel, so it's not the same anymore. I dropped the flips off the end. That's it.
So in 2023, I'm gearing down. I'm slowing down. The more part-time than full-time.
So flipping ain't easy. Said he's nice to put a face to the name.
Yeah, I watch John all the time.
John, that means you haven't watched enough, because Mark's been.
I'll be right back.
I deleted a lot of the old. I deleted a lot of the old lives, but if you ever get Mark to explain his organization and stuff, absolutely freaking amazing. His ability and how he organizes postcards is it's crazy fabulous.
Listen, this is something people don't talk about enough, is what Mark's doing.
It's because everybody doesn't realize and is not comfortable in their own skin, and doesn't, Mark's goals are personal. He is his situation. Everybody wants to go, Mark sells $30,000. That's what I want to sell. No, you need to sell what you need in your business. You don't comparing yourself to Mark. Do you have the same retirement income? They've got a dual retirement income. Mark don't have any. Their situations are so different.
But that's what I'm talking about. That nobody's talking about the retirement income part of this, where you get to be Brenda in the chat, me, Mark, you, Scott. Your goals are lining up to where you're looking to be longer term retirement stuff. Nobody talks about the retirement part of this. When I started, I said, I'll be working in, don't be surprised if I get up out of the frickin' pine box and go to work for a couple hours before you throw dirt on me. But the reality of it is you hit 50 and you start going, this isn't what I want to do when I'm 70.
Yeah, we're gonna light you on fire. You ain't going in the dirt.
We're not old in mindset, but as you know, you get older, you can't do as much, and I don't want to sit here for 8 hours a day listing postcards. I got 4 grandkids and stuff, so I kind of decided, okay, I'm gonna get it down.
I'm right there with you. My wife said, I'd like to see the boys for Christmas. I was like, book a flight. Get a rental car, book a flight, get a hotel. Yeah. We went and seen the boys. Then, we got home. We were home for 2 days. We jumped in the Jeep and went to Texas to see our granddaughter.
Yeah. Now, another thing is, I liked the money that I was making with the toys and really pushing things. And I did that. And now, say 2 years from now, something happens and I need to ramp it back up. I know how to do it. I can turn it back on. I can go back to work. But I don't have 3 storage units. I'm not lifting. I can't lift as much anymore because of some other stuff. And postcards are not that heavy. And I was going to get a tape machine, but that's all I ship now. But
what is it? Is that eBay envelope thing?
Yeah, that's all I have to do now. I don't have to buy all that stuff. So there's a lot of plus and minuses. I'm going to still continue to do YouTube, because I learn every time I do a special topic on a postcard. I learned, like I did McDonald's postcards yesterday. I never looked at McDonald's postcards. Some of those things sell for $20, $30. And so I have fun doing that. So I'm only going to do 2 things, YouTube and eBay. And see how that goes. Now, if it sucks, I'll be back in 2024 doing the whole thing again. And my wife will kill me.
I'm doing video poker.
Okay.
I mean, in all honesty, I just said to my wife, I made her coffee. I'm like, are we going to Golden Nugget today to play dimes, or are we going to Aquarius and playing quarters at sitting and looking at the river? They bring us drinks and food up there, and we can look right out over the river for the day.
I like watching Scott's video because I always know he's full time, and Steve and other people, they're full time, and I always give so much credit to people that do that, and they're comfortable. They're not. Then there's some people that do it full time. They're just nervous, running around and trying to do all the hacks and stuff. Scott just goes out there, builds a box, goes out and ships it, and he's making a living. You know, he's living the Alabama life. Could be smoke and mirrors.
Today is a loud life because the airport isn't going nuts. But
yeah, but I mean, you could take a product and do it in Mark's type of system and make a living.
Yeah. And I can tell you, I'm not the best one out there, the biggest one. I miss things. I probably sell things cheaper than I should, but I price them not at the top. If something is comping at $8, I'm probably going to sell it at $6.65. Because that one person, these postcards are like that. Like John from Flippin' ADs and calls them the unicorn buyer. That might be that person that bought that one card 2 years ago. So I keep it there. I want to move them. You got to move the cards. So to hit $70 a day this year, I need to sell 14 cards at $5. Now I got to bring my ASP up. So I've been running around. I don't buy big lots off of eBay anymore. I don't buy the lots that have been online. I'm looking for private collections, smaller auctions. I pay up. And I can tell you in the last 2 months, my ASP has increased almost $1.
Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions about your business. And I don't follow you. I have seen you around. I understand what you do. You have a fantastic system. I have watched a couple of your system videos on how you build the listings and everything. Why don't you, is it possible to flip what you do?
Flip.
Did you like looking through the large lots that you buy on eBay?
I like looking to those because you always find some, and they're the bread and butter cards, but the ASP wasn't there.
But what if you bought the lot, ran through the lot, picked out what you wanted, and lotted off the rest?
Yeah, you could do that. People do that as well. Most of the lots on eBay have been picked through multiple times already. So what you're going to find is a lot of the generic cards.
Okay.
Unless it's an estate sale. So when you're searching for postcards on lots on eBay, put the word estate sale in there, because those people buy storage units and stuff.
I'm not trying to get you to change what you're doing in business. I guess I'm probing these questions for somebody who's going, show your corner again. How many listings is that?
39,000.
He has 39,000. I'm going to guess by the looks of it, that's less than 8 by 8 square feet.
Pretty much right
space
there,
in that corner.
Yeah, I have a table here with some prints, with thousands of boat prints, and 5 square feet that hold about 8,000, 10,000 cards.
So it's something somebody could do out of an apartment to start.
Yes.
So, these are things that you can look through these lots and pick out the good ones. And re-auction the lots off again to get rid of the waste.
Yeah, you get about 5 to 10 cents a card on a lot. So my starting price when I look at a lot is $100 plus shipping. I always pay shipping. They're heavy, but flat rates are medium flat rates, large flat rates is what they use. So I start at 10 cents a card. If I see some good cards, I'll go up. If I see some cheaper cards, I'll go down. But I don't do the lots. I have a guy at the flea market. I have a bucket under my desk. If I'm listing this card and it's the next one in the stack and there's a lot of them out there, it's not worth anything, it goes in the flea market box. And I have a guy come out every year when I start going to the flea market. He goes in my trailer. He knows where they're at. And he gives me like $20 a box. All cash.
This is where you took an idea, and I guess it's a little bit of a passion now, and made it into a hobby with an income.
Yes.
that if you needed to, if you lost your retirement income or something happened, you could ramp it up to an income.
Mhm.
See, that's what people forget about is, and Scott talks about this a little now. All that running he did to make the money he was making is getting old. You start to want to do something a little simpler with a little less aggravation that makes you steady money. Like you're saying, you got to sell 14 cards at $5 a piece. You got to bring up your ASP, your average selling price.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you're doing it is by no longer buying lots, and you're actually getting up off your ass and you're going out and you're going to start looking at cards almost on an individual basis. You bought that book for $60.
Yeah.
And that's, you now have something to do in your retirement.
Yeah. When you retire, you have to keep moving. My father-in-law is 85 years old and he cleans out houses for auctions and stuff. And stuff like that. He's doing fine. But once you stop, I think learning and just sit in front of the TV, things start. That's what they told me. It says, don't stop moving. So I wanted to do something that was there. Now, like with the lots again, you can find good lots on eBay. I think Fartsack said that he got some lots from Matt from Jackass Retro. Yeah, people can't find everything. You can go through a box 10 times and miss stuff. But I'm trying to not to buy anything that's been online. It's to me, so far it's been an average sale price has been higher because they're collections. I bought a nasty album at an auction for $400 and I did a video on it. I got 2 Halloween cards and found another one, and I found all this other stuff. And I did a breakdown what I paid for it. But a lot of people said, you paid $400 for that crappy thing? The cards are great because they've been in an attic for 60 years.
But, Scott and I have gone out shopping together. And it's interesting because we walk into the store and we immediately split up. Because he has his area he goes to and I have my area I go to. Now, I no longer do RA, but, these are skills that I have that if I needed to, I could always go back to them. Everybody's like, what are you going to do for retirement?
Yeah.
I'm in retirement. This is what I do. If I need more money, bet your ass I'm going to be sitting in front of these computers working.
Yeah, and we know how to do it. We can turn it back on. Some things might have changed, but we can adjust. And I'm not looking
skills you can always overcome.
Yeah, so that was so with the goals of the sales of $70. Some people bought that. That's the minimum. That's all I need to pay my bills. Put $1,000 in my pocket. That's all I need. Now, if I do better, which everybody likes, that's great. I probably will. But I wanted to see what the bottom was. And in the last 2 years showed me what I could do every day at a low economy easily without stressing. And when I had the toys and stuff, I had to get up and I had to pack 30, 40 items in the morning before the post office, all the returns and stuff. I don't mind doing that if I had to. It's not hard. But I got out of that because we wanted to spend a little more time. And reselling is great. I see a lot of people this year struggling, and it's not because they got bad items or bad prices or something. It's just different things that you don't control. And I tell people about photos. The Pittsburgh Pickers started selling photos. She buys photos at auctions of kids with their tongue hanging out or people standing on the porch with an umbrella. She sells the crap out of those things for $5 to $20, and she pays nickels for them. So that helped them this year. And but
I think photos is one of those things. Photos is one of those things people don't see the value in.
Yeah,
unless you're looking for that particular item.
I have Commonwealth Picker had a good example. I saw it the other day. He was buying a bunch of a bunch of Life magazines. I think it was a Life or Time. And he's like, should I have bought them all? And there's stupid money in them because of who's on the cover. 40s and 50s and 60s. He got some with maybe it's even late 30s with Hitler on the cover. There was a point where Time made Hitler the man of the year. If y'all don't understand how crooked the media is, they made Hitler man of the year.
Yeah. Now with the Life magazines, you want to check out Marty at Jiminy Flip It video. he's great. He does print ads. He cuts the magazines apart and he sells the ads.
Yes.
So can I do that with my collection of Playboys?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can, Steve. Actually, you can.
Actually, I've been thinking about. I bought a big lot of them.
More than
How much did I pay for
the
those?
magazine.
Yeah, I got them in the closet back here, and I haven't done anything with them because individually, not worth much. But the ads, I know are.
So CJ asked what's the best way to ship. Now, I don't tell people how to run their business. If you got a system and it works for you, do it. But I always give recommendations. These are EchoSwift envelopes, 6.5 by 4.5. They cost about 10 to 15 cents a piece this year. They're little cover, 250 GSM. A regular envelope is about 10. I put it in a Mylar thing. I use eBay standard envelope, 57 cents. It's got tracking, but it's not as robust as packages. Does not require an acceptance scan, just a scan somewhere in the system. And if the customer says they didn't get it, even if it says delivered, you wait 30 days and before 90 days and put a claim in the eBay standard insurance and you get your money back. I got over $65 last year in refunds I give buyers. You can't get that with first class.
The problem is, Mark, that you did that video after I refunded my buyer and everything, and I probably still could get the refund but I mean, it was $3. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah, I have a little spreadsheet I keep track. I got 2 more coming out. I just did one the other day, and I got my money back within 48 hours of $17.
So if I send something eBay standard envelope and it doesn't get to my buyer, is that what you're claiming?
Make sure they open a case. They put a message in there. They didn't receive it. Wait, because eBay standard envelope is going to show delivered at the last sorting center, not when it hits the house. So once
mine never showed delivered at all.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Oh yeah, they're killing you in the chat, Steve.
Yeah, that's why I'm ignoring it. Because that's.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I have a collection of Playboy magazines that I bought thinking that this is a long time ago when I thought something like that might resell. But I'm thinking differently nowadays that, okay, there's still a stack in the back of that closet back there. What am I going to do with them? I can donate them. I can't donate them, actually. I can throw them out, or I can try to make some money off of them somehow. And the way that I'm going to do that is enjoy pulling the ads out of them.
Yeah.
And so
quite a bit.
Somebody had a comment earlier about
you're going to be pulling, Steve.
John Jones said that 3 storage buildings is not the way that it's successful. Nobody ever asked me about my 3 storage buildings, by the way. One is personal, one is wholesale, and then one is eBay, Amazon. Nobody ever asked me, why do you have 3?
Yeah. The reason I did, because my wife says crap ain't coming in the house. And it was
luckily, my wife is also an eBay seller, and so crap can come in the house, although she still does not like my crap.
Yeah, but if your crap comes in the house, she's going to make you list it because she wants it organized.
Yeah. You haven't seen my basement. But yeah, for the most part, things stay fairly organized. This office gets to be messy, but
mine were all conditioned, and I paid like $80 for the 2 small ones each, and $110 for the big long one. So down here, the storage units are not that thing, and I knew the lady over there. It's only 5 minutes down the road from me, so it was really not much.
I've got 3. They are 75, 70, 70.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, you're living life on the edge today, Steve. Almost said your wife's name 3 times because you're on a speaker. You ain't got no headphones on. Ah, shit. I'm not typing in the chat then. Is that what you're saying?
I'll just.
Is that like, what is the. Never mind. We won't go there.
Yeah.
I'll just ping her on Facebook and say, hey, you should hear what Steve's saying.
Yeah.
She's probably listening.
Yeah, she probably is.
I can't believe she would let the basement look like hell. I'm disappointed in you, Marsha.
Well, it's just because I used to have all my inventory in here. Well, this is a tiny room. See, this is a tiny room.
She's in the chat. She said she could hear me.
And so we used the guest bedroom for my inventory for a long time.
Right.
But we wanted to have where her son came back, and then my son stayed here for a while. So she had to give up her office. I had to give up the guest room. And now I put it down in the basement, which is actually better because the basement's just right there. and I can just go down and access stuff, but it's a mess.
But the one thing I'll tell you is, the way I have things in storage buildings is the way I've chosen to do it, because I don't want it in the house anymore. I've got a little bit left in the house with Jacob lists, and that's about it. Because I've lived with the inventory all over everything. I'd rather have an expense instead of have it all over everywhere. The one thing I tell you is, you look at all four of us, you look at each one of us, you got to figure out what works for you. John in the chat can tell you that 3 storage buildings doesn't work, but I can tell him that all the shit me living in the living room doesn't work. And needing space to store stuff whenever as you carry on, it's just a fact of life. This is a savings plan back here. Nothing I buy goes down for the most part.
Something has changed since the last video. I haven't figured out what it is yet.
The background.
Okay.
Don't worry. He's got a green screen behind him. All he does is switches them to make himself look busy.
Sometimes that's inside, sometimes I'm outside. I'm outside today.
It's a chair color.
I think the best video I liked, Scott, was that box. Trying to put that box together when you're cutting those boxes and reshaping them.
I saw that. I'm like, what kind of David Blaine craziness is this?
I actually watched
I've seen twice. A couple years ago.
And you should see the lady, the original video that somebody sent Joni. I mean, she did it so fast. She was like, and she pushed it together. I had to watch it like twice. I'm like, what the hell did she just do?
I like watching your videos.
Mark, I love your systems. I really do.
Thank you.
I remember before, I believe I started watching a couple of your YouTubes before you retired. You were doing videos before you retired?
About that time. When
just
Scott,
as you were retiring and you were going, at the time you had crazy numbers on eBay, the number of postcards you had.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a full-time job. And I was like, how can he manage that? But your systems are incredible.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to do it. Inventory is probably the biggest thing, I think, for me. But I'm from a technical world. I'm from a process procedure type thing. So it kind of fits in. And that's what I like. I'm going through and organizing things. But once you get it there, once I put a card in a box,
it's there.
I could care less how long it's in my store. I did get rid of some older ones, but box number 1 is my oldest. Box 105 is my newest. And I'm tracking this year what boxes I pull out of. And you know what? 15% of them sell in the first month. Whenever you put a new listing up, you're going to sell it. But I'm pulling out of every box all the way through. I thought
do you consolidate by taking the front of box 2 and adding it to the back of box 1?
So once you sell out all the boxes, they get kind of loose and start falling over. So right now I do it about 3 times a year. I take the box down and I move them toward box 1. I tighten them up.
You start at box 1 and work towards the end.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm at box 654 right now. So I'm halfway done. And I will gain some boxes. Like I got 3 boxes empty now from just doing 54 boxes, selling the last 6 months. Tighten them up, I'm going to gain 3 boxes. But I'm running out of shelf space. So I'm going to put 4 more shelves at the top up here this year. And each shelf can hold 7 boxes, which is about 700 each. So it's about another 10,000 cards.
You're for people in the chat, I'm asking all these questions, not because I'm curious about what he's doing, because I know what he's doing. I did this with jeans. I did it exactly the same way in a tractor trailer with jeans. I'm asking these questions because these are things that you need to think about at the beginning of the year of how you're going to build your business your way. People get upset with me sometimes. I tell customers, you can't buy from me. Go somewhere else. I don't really care. If you're going to do business with me, you're going to do business my way because it is my business. And you need to think that way when you build your business. You're never going to imitate what Mark does.
I fire myself every day for doing something stupid, or
Oh hell!
Yeah,
I never even hired myself in the first place. I just show up.
he's in detention.
I'll get it.
But I don't want to spend. I don't have to spend as much time this year that I have in the past years, and I worked over the last 2 years on bringing it all down and see. The toys didn't do much this year at all, and I was glad because it allowed me to see that I could still put money in my pocket with just postcards. So I'm pulling the trigger, and I will have some toys because you go to an auction, you know some stuff, you know it's a good deal, you're going to buy it. So I'm going to have an other category in the postcard store. So I'll just stick it in there and get rid of the other eBay. But I also had to reduce my expenses because I'm reducing some of my sales. I'm trying to bring my ASP up, but I have to reduce my expenses. So my goal this year was to save $1,000. I got $311 to go already, and it's not even the end of January. I changed some cloud storage. I put another hard drives in my PC. I changed my insurance. I brought it down since I don't have the toys. I saved $300. I looked at all these different things, and I already saved $700 because I have to bring that down because I won't have the income at the top unless my ASP goes higher.
You hear what he's saying, people? He's saying that he's adjusting his expenses to his income.
Yeah. Now, when I first started reselling, I had two different buckets of money. I had my personal money I had to invest in. After getting and figuring out what the heck I was doing and losing my butt for a couple of months and figuring out my mistakes and a system, I was not pulling from the personal as much. And after the first year, I didn't need to go to my personal money to invest anymore. And then I started paying myself back, but I also started putting an emergency fund. I pay taxes quarterly. I have my taxes for 2023 already estimated with my CPA, what I'm going to pay this year. That's already laid out. It's in an account. I have my money for my bigger expenses and stuff already laid out for 2023. And I have an emergency fund for my PC dies or something. And I also have a fund now. So say John says, hey, Mark, I just found 20,000 postcards in the storage unit I forgot about. Would you like them? $3,000. Hey, I got money for that, John. So that's what I used to play with. I had to pull personal money out to buy the bigger lots when I first started, but I was able to save a little bit. Now you do have some bad months, bad weeks, bad days. But
you're looking for an average. You're not saying if you only sell $60 worth of postcards today, you don't see that as a failure.
No.
What you are looking for is an average of $70 a day across 365 days yields out whatever dollar amount it is, knowing that you have to pay X dollars of taxes. And that's the minimum you need to survive.
Yes.
And if you see after 30 days or 45 days that your daily average is only $60, you know you need to change something to increase that daily average.
So when I hit the 3-month spot, I'll take a real close look, deep dive, and say how I'm doing. But 6 months is where I need to make any changes. I don't want to chase up the hill the last 6 months of the year. You get the fourth quarter and you haven't made your expenses or your money, you're not going to make it. So 6 months is the mark. Do I need to change something? Do I need to get some toys real quick to get my numbers I want to be at now? Stuff like that. So I look at it monthly, quarterly, 6 month, year end. And but I already got money put away. So if I closed it down and say I got sick, what you do when you get things happen, or somebody in my family gets sick and I have to close it down for 2 weeks, I'm not fretting. It's like, okay, just let it roll. I go on vacation to Florida. We went to Brimfield. We spent 7 days on the road and stuff. I just let it roll. I sold $500 worth of postcards. That one postcard paid for the trip.
Timothy says, how often do you back up your computers?
Mine is backed up as I save the document. We have an online service. It's Carbonite on there because my wife does the brailing for the visually impaired. She's a certified brailleist, and she spends hours on these textbooks for colleges and stuff on the side. And we don't want to lose that, so we pay for that for the main computer here and my wife's computer.
Now, there's a cheaper way to do that.
Huh?
Anybody interested? Google Drive for desktop.
You're talking. We're thinking the same thing, John. That's what I was using is Google Drive, but I was paying $9 a month, and I needed to find something easy to change. And I already had Carbonite for her and me. I can put a drive in here for $50, $40, just to have a local backup. I said I can bring everything from Google Drive down, put it here, and Carbonite will pick it up for $3 a month. So I was able to save $120 a year just by not using Google Drive for my backups anymore.
I use Google Drive because my entire business runs on Google Drive.
Yeah.
All my emails are through Google. You know, if you run any kind of business, you need to have systems in place. And I just use Google Drive because it's simple and I don't have to worry about the expense of Google Drive. But there are ways that you can use Google Drive free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And use it as a backup. For
the amount of stuff from YouTube and stuff I was storing.
Yeah, that you can't.
Yeah, so I weighed that out and stuff. The other thing is Photoshop and stuff I use for YouTube. I found this one program called Visme that I did thumbnails and stuff. I really liked it when I first started YouTube, and it was $25 a month. Okay, I'll try it. Well, I've had it for a couple of years, and it's like $300 a year. There's got to be a program, I said, that does the same thing, and there is. Affinity Photo 2 is like Photoshop, but it's only one time $41. They got a special going on. I don't have to pay $300 a year, and it does the same stuff I do. The problem is I need to find time to learn it. And it won't be hard for me, but I'm going to save $300 there.
But, you know, this all ties back into the title of the show, the resolutions and goals. Mark has a goal of what his life is going to look like. He's using his business as an income to support that lifestyle. He's not looking at his business as an income to survive on a day-to-day basis. The business is to support the lifestyle that he wants. He wants to be able to go see his grandkids. He wants to be able to travel and look at postcards. He wants to be able to do these things. You need to set your life up like that. Listen, Scott and I talk a lot off the show. And this is something we talk about. What is it that you need and want? Now, everybody thinks I'm crazy. Everybody thinks I'm going to be back to work full time because I've put so much in over the last 15 years.
I'm not one of those. I know you're walking away. I'm not one of those people.
I know you believe it.
Yeah. I can tell you the anxiety. I worked at a major utility company as an IT manager for over 20 years. And things went to the east. They didn't like us in the west here. And the whole thing changed. They had me work at home. And I knew I was leaving, but I wasn't going to leave at 55. I was going to stay until about 60 because I was there for so long and I knew what I was doing. But it changed. So the day after my 55th birthday, I clicked the button and said goodbye. But I worked on it. The biggest thing was insurance. I wouldn't be retired if I didn't talk to one of the guys I knew there that knew the plan to get. They kept touting this plan. It was like $1,600 a month just for medical. I can't retire if I'm paying that. So I finally found the plan, and the health insurance was able to do it. We have some other investments, and then my wife decided to retire. Now, do we live high? No. We're not squeezing ketchup in the bottles from packets, but we have to watch what we do because you're on a strict income now. But I can go to the flea market. I sold something out there for $100. I can sell postcards, and that's all little extras. And then you just pack it away. But it is scary. When you go, the anxiety can be there. It was for me because I worked all my life. And when I pulled the trigger, I was leaving something that I knew very well, and everybody liked me, and I liked them, a lot of friends and stuff. But I just cut the cord. Now, I've been asked back a couple times already, probably a dozen times, but the answer is no.
Now, I'm going to throw something out there that I started about 6 months ago that you may want to think about, Mark. I do consulting work. And I have a company that pays me $2,500 a month right now. And I work less than 2 hours a month.
Oh. Is that me?
That must be his 2 hours a month. He's
Oh.
gone now.
Scott went to
I'm
get
sti-
him.
Yeah, I'm still with you though, right?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
Steve and Mark show.
Yeah.
Or Mark
Oh,
and Steve
boy.
show. So
Great show.
he was talking about consulting work. It's like that movie. I have a special set of skills. I will find you. And stuff. I have a special set of skills over the years in the field that I work in, transmission, communications, phone systems. And I'm certified on like 40 different systems. I don't use anymore. I'm certified on PCs, programming and stuff. So I have a very special set of skills. I can walk into a company, a call center or something with phones. If I can find 3 cents per call, I can save them $3 million a year. I can bill out right now probably $300 to $400 an hour if I wanted to go out and do that consulting work. But you know what, Steve? I'm done with corporate life.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've never was in corporate life, but I was in manufacturing, and
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to that stuff. I wouldn't, even if I knew something, I wouldn't want to consult. And that's not saying that it's not a good thing for John. It's wonderful. If that's what he likes to do, and it's about the industry he's in now. It's not about the industry he used to be in,
Yeah.
But
And
it's not for me.
there was a company that said they would put me up in an apartment in Texas and stuff, and I would have to go out there every other week and stay there for 2 weeks and stuff back and forth. And I know the guy, went to school with him, and I did a lot of work over the years with him. You get to know people in the industry, and it was really good money, but I just said no.
Now, with that being said, if somebody paid me enough, yeah, I'll consult.
Yeah, it was a bigger corporation, and as a consultant and a contractor, I don't have the power that I had in the utility that I was with. I was
Right.
pretty well up there. So, I managed up to 25, 30 people sometimes, and I ran teams all the way across from west to east coast in 5 different utilities. I wouldn't have that. I'm a contractor. You don't have any say so. And so it'd be a hard change. But the money was there. But if I had to, Steve, if something happened, I can make a call tomorrow and probably get a gig somewhere in the next 6 months.
It's nice to have that as a fallback or something like that. I don't.
Now, I have burned some bridges over the years. Those people will never call
Sure.
me, but
I burned a lot of
Okay.
bridges.
So this is the portion of the show where if you're easily offended, you might want to go ahead and say,
Wait.
see you next week.
Wait. I want to, because I've been sitting here listening to reading all the comments about me getting fired. And I think you missed the point of the consulting, Mark.
Oh.
There's small sellers out there that would pay you decent money for 2 hours of your time to consult with them on your processes and systems to get started in their own thing. I'm not talking about corporate, going back into the corporate world. I'm talking about just something small where your YouTube followers say, hey, listen, I really want to pick your brain for a couple hours, and you pick up a couple of bucks from that. That's all I'm talking about.
yeah, and I do that probably a lot of times for free for people that send me questions right now.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so I purchased
The
these.
big reveal.
I purchased these. I don't know who sells 2 packs of these for $6.99 free shipping. That is
It's not you.
That's the other bearded picker and packer. This is that's the fudge packing bearded picker right there.
So you figured it out, huh?
So his name is Jason Stubbs. I don't know why I got Paul. Jason Stubbs, and he lives in Vineyard, Utah. So Jason, I just wanted to give you one of these today. You are asshole of the 2023 so far.
So he's not a very smart man. If he really stole your identity, which you believe he did, and he sends you something,
Okay,
he didn't notice it was you.
So you want to know the funny thing about it? So this came to my PO box, and I pulled it out and I looked at it. And I'm like, who the hell is Larry Jones? Why is Larry Jones getting something in my PO box?
There you go.
I'm like, wait a minute. I just typed in the first thing that came to mind, Larry Jones.
I see. That's why he didn't know who it was. I get it.
Yeah, because he sent it to Larry Jones. So Jason Stubbs, did I give you another one of them yet, buddy?
Vintage Memories asked a question. Where is it? Currently, eBay seller for fun. Any recommendations on who to watch on YouTube? How to turn eBay store into my job? Right now, store pays lots of bills, but I draw no salary. I'm sorry if it's paying lots of bills, you're drawing salary because you're taking the money, putting it in your checking account, and paying your bills. Now, that being said, you need to take what you're doing and 2x it, 5x it, 10x it, doing exactly what you're doing. If you're selling postcards and you want to make more money, Mark, how are you going to make more money selling postcards?
Increase ASP and reduce expenses.
If you need to increase sales after you increase the ASP, you're going to list more profitable postcards.
Yes.
This is not rocket science. Everybody turns it into rocket science. This is a very simple business. You buy something and sell it. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Good. I'm right there.
We as humans want to complicate everything we do in life. Because if it's easy, it doesn't work.
You know, one thing I found about with the YouTube, Scott, by sharing what you do, like you share, everybody shares on here, I learned something new that I changed. And I said, wow, that was easy change. I made some more money or I did it better because someone does it different than you. And that's by doing the YouTube channels and doing stuff like this. I learned something from everybody. I'm not the best out there.
So
but
I think I've got his phone number. Anybody want it?
No. We're not going to go that far now.
You just type his name and the city into it's definitely his phone number because it shows you his current address. He's 42 years old. He's old enough to know fucking better. That's what he is.
But I mean, seriously, everybody says, what would you do if you had to start over? I don't freaking know. I don't know because I'm not at a point where I would have to really think about how I'm going to start over.
I wouldn't have to buy as many boxes because I know I can cut them and change shapes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, those kind of things. But there's stuff that we know that we can fall back on. But people ask me, how do you get started? Well, the way I got started don't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've made so many changes to the platforms that all I can tell you is the basics.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can tell you. Buy red forks, knives, and spoons at Dollar Tree with white forks, knives, and spoons, mixed lots, and sell them on eBay. Sell them on Amazon. That's how, if I had to start over, I would be at Walmart 20 hours a day doing retail arbitrage.
Yeah,
because these are things I know that will make money that I can fall back on. But I've built past that. I'm not at that stage in my life.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me how I got started in postcards. I was doing toys and stuff. Well, I was doing toys, but I had postcards, and I started listing them in the toy store, but I started using first class, too expensive shipping, but I needed it for top rated and for the toys. So then I created a new thing. I changed every year, and I'm changing this year. I'm changing next year. I'm going to change in 6 months. I don't think there's a thing in reselling where you can just sit back and say, okay, I made it. It changes.
Product changes, rules change on each platform twice a year. So, you know, if you've got a 3-year period, you've gone through 6 sets of rule changes. And so you can keep doing the same thing over and over and probably do okay. But if my look at it is, if you don't take advantage of how they've changed, because now the rules to the game have changed. And if you want to, you know, I think a lot of people talking about, oh, my sales suck, to this and to that. You know, not only is it what do you sell? You know, what kind of effort you're putting in? Are you using all their systems? Are you adapting to the changing environment of your online marketplace to take advantage of everything they offer? You know, don't bitch about bitch about something. Make it work for you. You know, the post office is about to raise rates again, and people are going to. There's going to be a great gnashing of teeth, and people are going to go. You know, it's going to be terrible, and I'm going to quit. Well, then fucking quit. Right? Quit telling me about it. I had somebody. I was in a Facebook group, and somebody said something, and it said, "You think I should quit?"
Yep.
It was over return, and I put on there, "You're damn right. I think you should quit because you can't approach this as a business person. You're going to fail, so you might as well quit now and get it over with." That was my answer. Nobody. It was like crickets. Nobody said a word in that comment. They didn't touch it.
Listen. If you had lousy sales in fourth quarter, the only person you can blame is go look in the frickin' mirror. If you follow me on Facebook, call it bragging, call it whatever you want. I have never done 15,000 in a day. I sold 15,000 in a day. 2 days later, it was 16,000, 17,000, 18,000 in a day in fourth quarter. I had my biggest month, my biggest day, my biggest year in sales in 2022. You know what I did? I sold shit people want to buy. Mm-hmm. You want to complicate it? Complicate it. But the simple fact is I sell shit people want to buy. I make sure it's disposable so that they use it and throw it away and come back and buy more of the same damn shit.
And see, I know someone wants this horse. This Saratoga horse. I know that card's going to sell probably in 2 years. So there's some
eventually.
But I bought some. Mary Martin has the biggest postcard store in the country. Mary Martin Postcards. If you want to check anybody doing postcards, and they asked me, I seen a thing, Scott, that said, "Did Popeye Postcards still do videos?" Yes, he does, but he's been doing some other things. He bought 1 million postcards, or whatever, and he's doing things and whatnot. So, but he gets on there and does some. But Mary Martin thing, I bought a whole bunch of $600-700 worth of cards, 1,600 cards a couple of weeks ago, but they're long tail. The presidents. I bought 700 Jimmy Carter presidents and all these other ones. They don't sell fast and high money, but I'm going to filter them into my system, my inventory, and I'm creating a ladder over the last couple of years of long tail things. So when these hit long tail, every day I'm selling some of these bread and butter cards. But I also bought some cards with Coca-Cola signs on them for 40 cents a piece, and they're selling for $5.65 to $8.65. And I'm selling those will go faster. So I'm kind of filtering in long tail, short tail. So it's a consistent average of selling. If I bought out the best postcard in the world and looked for all the bolos and everything like that, I would wear myself out and run out of money. I wouldn't be selling anything.
I made a lot of money. You know, somebody joked about it at the beginning of the show. Pop rocks and flags will never be the same. I think it was Silver Stacker made a comment about it. And you know what? I made a lot of money with very basic things. Pop rocks and flags. Mm-hmm. Pop rocks are edible, and flags, people want fresh, clean flags in front of their places. You know, these are things that you have to consider when you build your business. How do you get repeat buyers? How do you I bet you Mark has a following.
Yeah,
he has people that go in and look when he puts new listings up.
Followers are a big thing with the postcard store. That takes a while to bring that up. But they do, like you said, they will look for new listing. The postcard sellers will leave feedback, and they are consistent on looking through and taking their time. Also, eBay has a newsletter. If you go to store newsletter, you can set it up where it can send a little email. I send out one on Wednesdays for volume discount, and I saw one on Saturdays. I was only doing Saturdays, but I did the Wednesday, and I said, well, is that too much? Because people will put you in your spam folder real quick if you start sending crap. But I do get... that does go out there in the followers. I think I'm between 500, 600 followers on the postcard store, which is low compared to some people, but I'm happy with it. These are
like said, he sold a lot of pop rocks on Amazon. I hate to tell you how many I sold. It was disgusting how many that much candy is actually sold in a year's time is pretty freaking horrendous when you stop and think about it.
So we're dancing around a lot of points here. We you're in a period where people are disappointed in sales and it's openly complaining about sales on platforms. And Brenda is in the chat saying she sells consumables. John is telling normally I don't stop the show and tell you, listen to this part right here. If normally I leave it up to you. If you get the information, if you're smart enough to figure it out, you got Lag, who's a good seller and has sold popper. I'm telling you right now, if you don't, oh my God, what's the new toy? I want to go sell the hottest and latest toy. Or do you want to go to Walmart and buy some Swiss Miss cocoa, and that shit just sells over and over? What are people doing right now? They're making hot chocolate this morning because it's cold some damn where, and they're gonna be out and order another box. How many Mario toys can you sell before you've got a customer that buys it one freaking time? One. You got a customer that buys a consumable item, whether it's granny panties because grandma had a blowout. I sold
Grandma had a blowout.
I sold a 3-pack of nylon granny panties yesterday for $25 freaking dollars. $25. You'll be amazed the things that wear out, the things that how many iPhones can you sell? iPhones are buy one every 3-4 years. How many boxes of cocoa is somebody going to buy? How many the profit margin, the dollars are not going to be the same, but you can flip the same dollar over and over and over and make money by buying. Go look at consumables, whatever they are, tablecloths, whatever. Health. Somebody in the chat just mentioned, they switched to health and beauty and their sales were at 25%. It's because when you get to the end of the bottle, you don't go, well, I'll be damned. Okay, well, I'm out of this. I guess I'm going to stink for the rest of my life. No, you go get another freaking tube. You go get another one. And so many people miss that it's not sexy. What do you sell? Well, I sold some Old Spice deodorant, but I flipped a video game and made $100. But how many times you do that this year?
Mm-hmm.
I can flip thousands of these on Amazon. Thousands.
The most cards I sell are the $4 to $6 cards. That pays the bills. That $1,900 card ain't going to happen every year. That $70 card ain't going to happen every week. Those are unique buyers and stuff. With some of the cards you can move, but the $4 to $6 cards I sell every day. Yesterday I did $110 in sales, or today I did $110 in postcards. Day before I did 60. Day before I did like 70, 80.
So never mind, in my own business makes a great point. If you're going to sell food on Amazon and you keep it in date, it's not returnable. The only way that Amazon will really grant a return is if it's out of date. And as long as you follow their end date, which is they're fairly liberal with their dates for the most part. I mean, I was watching and be careful with dates. And I'm telling you right now, people get mad as hell if you sell out of date food. I was watching someone who I watch a lot on TikTok who sold some sodas that were from early last year. And I'm like, and I sent him a message. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that, dude? The expiration date's out. Oh, well, I put it in the listing that what the expiration date is so they know. That is a violation.
Can't do that anymore.
It will catch your ass. You could do that 3 years ago. They are cracking down on food and it's illegal to sell over the counter out of date, by the way. That is against the law according to the federal government. Food is a best buy date for the most part. That's the way they treat it. But medicine is a different animal. I guess the drug companies, because they have so much freaking money, they get what they want.
Yeah. So someone asked what that card sold on. It was eBay. That's the Santa.
Oh man, that's pretty cool looking.
That is a cool card.
The
dude.
stars. It looks like Captain Morgan. With the
with the foot up and all. Yeah, that's
cool.
cool.
That's a cool looking card. It's almost like so. Was that who was that? A Christmas card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam Santa.
Uncle Sam Santa. That's a because
Now-
you're combining two things. You're combining a figure like Uncle Sam and Santa together. So you're gonna have two markets that wanted that card.
Now,
Look at Brenda. Put Brenda's comment up. That feeds into the part of this. The part of the show that I don't like is the comments are delayed because our broadcast is delayed. You found one home run video game, and she sold 400 packs of adult diapers. I guarantee she won.
Mhm.
And if you don't understand, okay, so if you're an eBay seller and you're buying that kind of stuff, you need those one-offs. I mean, I get it. As an eBay seller, I want regular sales, but I will take a chance on something that's going to make killer money. I get it. That's great. As an Amazon seller, the platforms are completely different. It is set up for, you've got 20, 30, 40, 50 times the number of customers. It is set up to sell everything and sell in bulk. And if you don't take advantage of that and understand the difference in the two platforms, I can buy something and sell one on eBay and sell 100 on my Amazon in the same time period. Right now, go look right now. Go look on Amazon right now for 9 Lives cat food, dry cat food. If you're willing to ship bags that are 3.5 pounds, some 5, 6, 12, go look and see how much 9 Lives cat food is currently short in some parts of this country. Amazon is every bag I looked at temporarily out of stock.
So Scott, another thing I do, I recommend a lot of things like you do to people and stuff. They can use it or not use it, whatever they want to do, but we try to share. But just like the question in here, what is the best way to ship postcards? I tell everybody new, go out there and buy 10 or 12 postcards, not the expensive ones, from 10 or 12 different buyers, and get them to your house and see which you like the best. I did that. Since I recommended, I haven't done it in a while. So I went out and bought 12 cards, about $30, $40. And I'm going to do a video where I open each one up. And I'm going to have a little grading to say from a buyer standpoint and a seller what I think is the best on there. And people can go out and do that and see what they like the best. Just using those envelopes I use are 15 cents. They want to do it cheaper, there might be a way to do it. But I like that way, the way I do it. But I'm not saying you have to do it. But it works.
Right now on Amazon, you can sell as much 9 Lives cat food as you can find. Because how do I know about 9 Lives? How do I know about cat food? Did I go look at the cat food in a Walmart aisle? You could do that.
You don't even have a cat.
You can walk. I don't have a cat. You can walk up and down the aisles and see what's missing. Martha says the cat food aisle is almost empty. I didn't do that. I'm in a freaking prepper group. For some reason, I don't know why I joined a prepper group. My craziness on Facebook, and they're complaining about finding cat food. So what does the reseller in me do? If they're having problems in their area, they say that Chewy is offering substitutes. Amazon is completely out, and I'm like, let me type in Walmart, see what my Walmarts have. All the Walmarts in my area have that cat food that she's looking for. All of them. So should I go sell cat food today? Should I make a video about selling cat food today?
I'm gonna mute for a minute because I'm gonna run my machine and I'll be back.
I'm about to eat breakfast.
I think you should make a video about it instead of going out and buying it. It goes back to what Brenda was saying. She found 400 diapers. Your video will make you money over and over again, where you're getting a one-time hit buying cat food, wasting gas, mileage, and time with your family.
It's so heavy, Amy. That's the other thing. There is a 3.5 pound bag, so I would want to see the size of the 3.5 pound bag and what size box. So how do you do that at Walmart? Walmart sells boxes. Walk down to the damn box and grab some boxes and take them down there and see what's the smallest box that cat food will fit in.
Wait, you mean Walmart sells boxes? Next, you're going to tell me they sell tape.
They sell walls.
Oh my God.
They don't have bubble wrap. Do they got bubble wrap at Walmart? Holy cow! You mean you can buy
Expensive bubble wrap, but yes.
It's expensive bubble wrap, but it's definitely bubble wrap.
So Scott,
I use the 6x6x6 Walmart boxes all the time. They're good if you're in an emergency situation and you need that size of box. They're a good sturdy box.
Yeah, the key is can you get that 3.5 pound box in a 12.99 box? That's one of the things I'd want to know. I take a tape measure with me and measure. Fold the lip around the bag because the bag will have all the extra space on the top. Find out what size it fits in. And because then you can figure out, is there a chance it can go cubic? Can I get the 3.5 pound bag in, what's worst case scenario to 90210? You don't know your price. You can set your price $5 higher than the highest price and go for it.
Yeah. Go asked again what I used to ship. So I used a Echo Swift 6.5 by 4.5 envelope, and I use these sleeves.
Gary, that must be your area, Gary, because that's exactly the one I looked up, and all the stores here have it. I'm doing a video in just a minute. That's what I'm doing today.
Mm-hmm.
First, I gotta go eat breakfast. So
now listen, Scott, I don't know if you remember when I sold jeans. I did it just like Mark does his postcards. Yep. Box 1, envelope 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, box 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, box 3, 8, 9, whatever it was. And I would consolidate, move them around, shuffle, do all that stuff. But I had a system and I sold a lot of jeans. Exactly. And you put it's already in the sleeve, right? Yep. See?
Yeah.
Okay. So what just to put an end to cat food, people would tell you, oh, but just because you got 9 lives here, they're not going to pay the crazy price. Dogs and cats, you feed them the same food because if you switch their food, they sometimes will upset their stomach. So people are very loyal to food for that reason, and the vets will tell you that. So since there's areas here without them, I'm going to buy some 9 lives. I don't know that I'll do the 15 pound bags, but the 3.5 pound bags.
But you have to. Mark has a system. The $70 a day. It doesn't sound like a lot of money to a lot of people. Mm-mm. But being retired, how much he has a retirement income. How old are you, Mark?
58.
Okay, he's 4 years away.
59 this year.
He already has a retirement income with eBay at $70 a day, and in 4 years he qualifies for Social Security. Now, whether he takes it or not, that's on him financially. But where do you not see what Mark doing is a positive? You can't say you can't fault what he's done. He has the perfect life.
I'm telling you, in Huntsville, Alabama, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All 13 of our Walmarts have this dog food in hand. It's available for in-store pickup or curbside pickup today.
The only thing I could say, and I'm going to put this out there because you're saying you're going out and buying it, you got to be careful because 9 lives know they have a supply chain issue. You don't think they're working on repairing it or fixing it?
Oh,
don't get caught short when that stuff starts coming back in stock.
So these are always a short-term thing for sure.
Yeah, my point is, I'm going to buy it today. I'm going to list it. I'm going to show you me listing it in the store, merchant fulfill, and I'm going to sell it today.
Like you did the game?
Oh yeah, I'm going to do it today.
If you're going to do that, here's my recommendation on your Monopoly video. Put a link. I did it again.
Oops! And I need to put Britney Spears on the thumbnail.
He's already used that title.
I did it again, so I'll use it again.
South Jersey all sold out. They ain't shit in South Jersey anyway. They ought to blow that up with California.
So Dollar General has 9 live too.
They're
All right, I'll
electric.
Rhonda, no, I will check them too.
CJ, I don't know where you are in South Jersey, but I feel bad for you.
All right, I do it wearing a cat costume. You're not talking to Harlan Amy. I don't wear costumes. That's the other Huntsville reseller.
No, it's the other bearded picker.
Oh yeah, that's the guy in Utah. That's Jason Stubbs, loser of the year. Who he wears a cat costume. All right, I'm going to eat breakfast. Good show.
I know what Collingswood is. CJ's in Collingswood.
Appreciate everybody's input. This is an important one to really start your year off. You know, I challenge you. You know, next week, tell me about some goals you made. Tell me you've set some goals and are ready to go. If you want to make this year count happen, don't wait until August and go, well, I'll be damned. What am I going to do now? Maybe I'm going to have a great fourth quarter. It's going to make my whole year. Don't be that person who is betting on 3 months to make your whole year when you've got the other 9 months that sell cat food with me.
I have a 50-page goal if you want to read it.
Yeah, if anybody wants some help with anything or something like that, questions about how I do things, or if they have any ideas that I can do it better, just hit me up on YouTube or eBay. My email address is out there.
He'll send you a consulting calendar where you can sign up at $100 an hour.
Yeah, and I'll give Scott and John and Steve a cut.
I'll be looking forward for my $1.
Yeah, 50 cents for me.
All right, roll tide.
You got a raise.
Hello and good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott, for letting me in.
Sweetwater out.